What is up, guys? In today's video, we're going to be spectating random players in Unreal ranked zero build duos. We're going to be playing on EU for this video because that is the only region that can consistently get queues in the really high levels from what I've seen. And if you guys do enjoy this video, remember to give it a like, subscribe if you'd like to see more. Comment down below what you think of this gameplay and what rank you are right now in zero build. And I'll see you guys in game. The queues are kind of long, so I'm going to cut to when we're in game. All right, so now we are in game. And like I said at the intro, this is going to be an Unreal ranked zero build lobby. I'm not really sure where to land. Maybe we can land like over here. This place is usually like really congested. This gas station, castle, racetrack area. I'm not sure if it will still be as contested, because like one of the main reasons why this area was so hot, I feel like, was because people really wanted katanas, and since those have been vaulted, that really changes the game. And I haven't really played ranked since they removed the katana, but it sounds like there's some people coming over here. Just in general, this is always like a pretty chaotic location for whatever reason. Yeah, we got people landing over there, people there. This is another solo? This guy's roasting my landing right now. Do they not have guns? Okay. Alright. And we are on board with Otto Kaista, I believe is how you say that. Bro, it's showing me my progress. But they're just gonna loot up gas station. And then probably head over towards racetrack. Like I said, a lot of people were really concerned about getting the katanas in the past, but those aren't there anymore. But either way, racetrack is usually a pretty hot location. So like the main kind of like thought process when you land at a place like this, or like I landed castle a lot for when I was grinding to Unreal, was you kind of loot up quickly and then you kind of go third party that area. And not only is it won't let me open the map, that's unfortunate, but not only is the racetrack usually hot, but there's like other areas over there that kind of feed into racetrack. So it's like usually a good way to get like a few early kills. Landing racetrack itself is pretty chaotic, but like landing at the gas station or landing at the castle first and then kind of like rotating into racetrack has always been kind of like a bit safer way to still have like a pretty hot game like early on. And there definitely was people landing here. I was like debating on landing on them. They seem to know that there's players here. Even if they didn't know necessarily that people 100% landed here, like if they didn't watch them land, there's always people in this area. He just saw that guy go in the bush, but he picked up the pump, and that player is likely going to hear that. They shouldn't be caught off guard. Oh, they are going to get caught off guard, it seems, though. They are catching timing. If this guy's teammate doesn't help him out here, this could... Oh, there we go. There's his teammate, probably. They fry his teammate, though. Oh, wait. This is a good team. That's Noah W plays. And Zemi. Alrighty then. So this team just eliminated Noah W plays and Zemi. They are getting their augments now. I don't know what's going on. They're emoting. That's what they were. Okay. I'm surprised they caught them off guard like that. I thought when he picked up the shotgun that I guess that was Zemi would have heard it, but didn't seem to be the case. And then Noah just like ended up getting fried maybe in a 2v1, and then there's just like not really much you could do there. Like I was saying, this is such like a chaotic area that like just timing like that can really dictate the flow of things. And that's how a lot of zero build fights go, especially in ranked. The team that gets like early damage and gets a knock immediately usually is going to be the team that comes out on top. See what they do from here, though. This is where things get different, and I don't really know what people do, because normally what you would want to do here is you go get the katanas at the dueling ring, or you get the katanas from the people you just eliminated. But the katanas are no longer in the game, and I'm not really sure if we should switch players or what. I have a feeling that they're like going to the streams and seeing if like Zemi and Noah W plays were live, or if those were like the real ones. So it might just be better to like swap over to a different team that's actually playing the game. They could go into Mega City and try to get the boss. That might be why they're waiting. I'm not really sure, but that would be a decent play. Get the slurps, get the mythic pump, you're golden. Their loot is not great right now. We go across the world to somebody else. This guy's teammate is knocked or dead. I don't know if he has a reboot card or not. Oh, he does have the reboot card, so he's going to try to go ahead and reboot here. I guess we'll stick on this team and see what they try to do. He's going to get pushed by another team, probably the team that eliminated his teammate. He's not going to be able to reboot here, but he's also likely going to be running into like the team that we were just spectating. This is usually a pretty hot area. There are web slingers there. I'm not really sure why he chose not to take them. He is going to go for them. But the team is pushing up on him, and it's really tough to just get out of a fight with the web shooters. Because with the katana, you know, you hit your button and you're out of there. But with the web shooters, it's very hard to, like, get out of a fight where the people are shooting at you. And so they're going to push that, and they are going to eliminate him. Not really sure what went on there. We kind of joined in towards the end of that. Like, if this was the team that killed his teammate, that's just unfortunate. Maybe you have to go a little bit further to get away from that. And this player that we're spectating here just has pump SMG. They have no mid to long range weapons. So it's going to be really hard for them to play this fight. Why are they getting their augments? Yeah, this is going to be a hard fight for them to win. They did get a knock, though. Okay, this might actually be winnable. I don't know where the other one is. Okay, yeah, that guy's teammate just popped off. Good stuff. That would look like it was not going well, though. I thought, like, the HP on the anonymous one, like, wasn't updating or something. I thought they would have been much weaker. That's actually surprising. I feel like it's very rare that a team gets opening tags like that and pushes and doesn't win the fight. And then also, the team that pushes there had a pretty ideal circumstance because this player that we're currently on board with was out of the fight completely because of the initial tags they got put on them. They slid down that mountain, and then they were not active in that fight at all. And then the other player just, like, basically 2v1 that fight. Fight going on at Mega City Vault. Mega City Vault is such a difficult one to get into. This is where not having an AR really comes back to bite you, because imagine if he has a Red Eye there, a Cobra DMR, or a Havoc AR. That's just probably a knock. But instead, they get nothing. They do have this team pinned into the vault, and I don't know if the boss is eliminated yet. I don't think he is. They get one kill, but I think there's still a player in the vault area, and they're getting third-partied by a different team. Dang, this anonymous is actually cracked. He's, like, doing everything. But they are getting pushed by another team, I think, and they're just kind of, like, trapped in here. This is a team that we were initially spectating. They got one. 1v1. And the anonymous clutches up again. Let's go. I don't know the name of the skin, but they just wiped the team that wiped Noah Plays in Zemi. They're a console player, too. Both of these players are console players. I want to switch players and spectate the one that's, like... Here, we'll try it. No. Every time I switch players, something goes wrong, dude. I just want to spectate the other player on this team, the one that's been getting all the kills. And it won't let me. So I guess we'll just stick on board with that team. We'll go back. But, yeah, I would like to spectate the anonymous player because they're the one getting all the kills. But now they have Vault. They should be able to get mythic pumps and the loot, which is nice because this player that we're currently on board with has no utility. Don't know what to make of the other players. Okay, they eliminated boss. They are getting shot at from somewhere behind. This player is, like, stuck in their augments again. So many crowns in this hallway. One of those might be mine from earlier. Alright, they got the key card in. I would definitely take that exotic Maven. I like having the exotic Maven a lot in Zero build. One of the kind of... Wait, what the heck? One of the inconveniences of Zero build comp is that utility is very important, so it's tough to justify carrying 3 weapons. But having the exotic Maven, I feel like is, you know, even if you prefer the mythic pump, I think a lot of players respect the exotic Maven and, you know, they rate it really highly. And then you can easily get by running exotic Maven and Red Eye. And that would kind of solve the range problems we saw there, because, like, they do end up coming out on top of that fight, but you saw that it almost didn't go well. Like, the first team that was at Vault, they ended up killing them. They take a decent amount of damage because they didn't get, like, an initial knock with AR tags. And then they got third-partied by the team that we were spectating from Racetrack. And that fight easily could have gone, like, the other way. You know what I mean? It was just, like, a pretty random, like, fight where they were both just, like, base tracking each other. So even though it worked out, like... it was just, like, needlessly more difficult than it needed to be. You know what I mean? And I feel like that's how a lot of these fights are going to play out. Maybe the games aren't as stacked as they were before. I haven't really played ranked in a few days at all because the queues have been so bad. I mean, as you saw, I had to play on EU. Zemi and Noah were playing on this server as well. It seems like EU is, like, the only server that can consistently get queues in Zero build. They didn't activate this cache, did they? I feel like somebody else had to activate this. They might be nearby. He goes for the double slurp. Still no utility on this player that we're currently spectating. And they have 22 opponents remaining. It makes me so mad that like the swapping never works for me, because I feel like of these two players that we've spectated, the anonymous one is like kind of carrying like a majority of the kills they've gotten. They hear fighting at this castle and it sounds like they're just gonna like get in, which I mean that's all they can do, you know. They don't have any like mid to long range weapons on the one that we're currently spectating, so they just have to get in. But this isn't good. The anonymous got in alone in a 2v1. Did he end up winning it? Okay, no, he's knocked, and now it's up to the Boba lady. She did end up getting the kill, but there's more players on top. There's multiple teams here. See, that was just unfortunate. Like, I don't think drinking multiple serps does anything. I think it just resets the timer. But in like very stacked lobbies, you want to be doing everything together. Like the fact that this player stopped to shoot at some people that didn't matter, that were going away. Not only are those people not the most imminent threat, but also they were leaving themselves vulnerable to top castle. Like even if their teammate didn't go up there and fight that alone, if they both like just tried to spray that player that was leaving, then castle can just easily spray them. And this Boba lady does clutch up. That was, you know, decent. They kind of just like backed up. One thing they did well was like when the player was top castle, they just dropped down and forced the player that had the advantage to come to them. Surprisingly, the player top castle who was alone like played into that, and they hit a good pump shot. And like, you know, any fight is winnable if you open with like 210 damage or whatever that was. Like, it's fine. But that was once again just like needlessly more difficult, and it wasn't like what they needed to change with anything spectacular. Like all they need to do is just go together, and then that fight is, you know, much easier. But because there was just like some desync with their timing, it made the fight more difficult than it needed to be. It does carry the bubbles, that's good. Have some utility. This lobby is pretty dead though, actually. This is actually very dead for what comp was. I wonder if they like kind of loosened the regulations a bit or whatever, the matchmaking, to like make it to where people could actually get matches. Because I didn't actually have to queue for that long to get into this game. But it is significantly more dead than what it typically would be. But like I was saying before, like I feel like a lot of having like good teamwork really isn't that complicated. It's just like doing things together. Like they won those fights, but it was definitely closer than it needed to be. And like, if you guys have used the shotguns in Fortnite, you know they're inconsistent from time to time. That like 210 bailout shot could have easily been like less than that, and then they're back in the lobby. And when the matchmaking is very strict and everybody is like, you know, playing well, just minor little things like that are going to be the difference makers in fights. Yeah, this lobby is incredibly dead. Like, if I didn't, you know, get my progress at the end of the, like, when I died to, like, show me going down in rank, I would have thought this was, like, a pub or something. Because this is not how they were. This is not how the games were, like, a week ago. We have 11 opponents remaining, all of Brutal Zone. I feel like getting on one of those Brutal buildings would be nice, but they don't have ranged weapons, so they kind of just, I feel like they just want to play super aggro, and I guess that's how you can play now. But once again, you see their split. Like this player, I don't know what happened with their ODM gear here, but they're not on the same page at all, or like not able to help each other in a fight. Like had the anonymous player gotten like caught off guard by people up there, then that could have been their game. And I feel like it definitely is harder to stay together with these web or like swinging mobility items rather than the katana, because like as long as you both have the same rarity katana or like are aware of the differences, I feel like it's really easy to stay together with the katana. But with this, oh no, like the swinging is kind of weird sometimes, and it can be easy to get separated, and that can cost you a fight. So they didn't really carry utility earlier in the game, but once they got those kills like mid to late game, they started playing for late game, which definitely can be a good play. If the lobbies aren't that stacked, you kind of can play like that, where you just play aggro in the mid game, and then once you get to end game, you play more for the win. That definitely seems like more for what they're going for. I wish we could spectate that anonymous player and see what their weapons are. Because as of right now, the player that we're currently on board with has no AR. I'm not sure if this other guy does, but if he also doesn't have an AR, their potential to get kills here really is nothing. They're just going to be like waiting out the next few zones until it does get to the point where people have to use close range weapons. I feel like it going brutal is actually pretty ideal for this team because of their like mainly close range oriented loadouts, like forcing everybody to play in these buildings is going to make the game way more close range oriented. I think he just got more bunkers. That's good. They could play the top there. So it's an interesting zone because half of it's in brutal and half of it is in like the snow area, but like that part that's in the snow area is really undesirable. I think that's like down in that ditch area. And I guess people can linger there, but no one's going to really want to be there, I feel like. So they should be getting some fights here. Like you would definitely want to be on this building that they're on. And then you also have the pads for like rotation. The team ODMing onto them. Or maybe they're just going on that pad. Shoots a mag of SMG. No tags. Oh, the anonymous just got sniped. He's gonna drop down. They sought him out. That was actually a good play. So he backed to like, he dropped down to like right there, hoping if they pushed, he could kind of shoot him in the back, I think. But it just so happened they saw him. They're gonna thirst his teammate and see how he plays this in the 2v1 situation. I would assume he's just not gonna fight them and he's just gonna try to linger from here on out and then maybe get some placement, get deeper in the game, maybe pick up a few kills in game, because once it does get like super deep in the game, even as a solo, you can rob some kills, especially with like a red eye or the Cobra DMR or the heavy sniper. Like things get pretty scuffed and there will be a lot of like weak players running around, especially if the lobby was more lively. This lobby is pretty dead. I don't really think there's much relevance in getting the card here. I feel like one thing a lot of people struggle with is like, so his teammate's dead, right? And obviously when your teammate is dead, you would want to reboot them. But I don't know if there's any reboots in zone. I don't know where the reboot van is at Brutal. But even if it is in zone, he's not getting it off. And if he does get it off, his teammate's just dead immediately. So, okay, so there's the reboot van. But imagine trying to reboot there. Like, he's just dead right away, right? Maybe they leave and he can get it off. But I feel like you're probably better off just playing this as a solo. And just hoping to steal some kills. And he does have the bunkers, so he does have more permanent cover. So we could just kind of like throw a bunker somewhere and kind of chill in the bottom of it. But I don't think getting placement really gets you that much in this ranked mode. It's more about the eliminations. Like obviously you want to make it deeper in the game because, you know, the later in the game you get kills, the better seemingly. And then also the game does often get very scuffed. But this is what I was talking about. That YouTube algorithm person just got rebooted and then they just died again. Like, it makes sense to want to bring your teammate back, but there's a lot of times where bringing your teammate back is just going to like end your game and you might be better off playing as a solo. And I think this was one of those times. I think if he goes for the reboot there, they just come back and kill him again. He's just going to chill behind this tree, I think. Like I already said, there's really not much he can do as a solo, especially with no mid-range weapon. He probably wants to play a low profile and hope something kind of gets thrown in his lap. I feel like that's what he's hoping for here. Like there's no like guaranteed way to make this work, you know? Like, but if he can get a kill or two, that could, you know, boost him up a rank or get him a little bit more percentage than what he would have gotten otherwise. This has already been a pretty decent game. Like it's not like they're at risk of losing percentage off this. They've had several kills. But in this situation, you just kind of got to do what you can do. That's Pulse team up there. You probably don't want to fight them. So if I was this player, I would be hoping to steal these kills. And that might make little sense. Like right here, he might shoot one of those people out and get the kill if they drop. Okay, they're dead. But like if one of them webbed high, he maybe hits an SMG bullet and then that's a kill for him. I don't really think sneaking up on Pulse team is going to do much for him. They probably just easily won that fight. They spotted him. There's still two other players that aren't him and aren't Pulse team. So I feel like basically here he's got to hope that somebody shoots these people in the back. But like I said, playing as a solo, there's no guaranteed way to do anything. But if they get shot on the back and then like that engage is decent for the other team, he can maybe sneak up to the right side of this mountain and then steal some of the kills. And if that fight is messy enough, maybe like come out on top there. But playing sneaky is definitely the play here. Like, he could get damage on this player. Like, probably with his SMG, he could get, like, 80 damage. But that isn't going to do anything for him. I actually really like this. Okay, now he shoots because the other guy left. Push with the shotgun. Oh, no. Like, when that other player left, he had a moment of, like, alone time with the other guy. And that's why I think shooting there was good. But, like, shooting earlier on wouldn't have been that good because then the other player would have just, like, killed him anyways. But he kind of lost his timing on that. I feel like he needed to drop down on that player immediately with the shotgun and then just kill them in thirst. We'll see, though. Maybe this works out for him. He did rank one of his slurps early, which isn't great because now he can't play Storm as much. If he had 2 slurps here, maybe he'd be more inclined to play Storm. But this is over. It's very hard for him to survive now. I think he's dead. Does the tires make you take fall damage? Okay, he ended up ODMing. Like, he needed separation between the players in order to, like, get anything relevant. He might get a kill here, actually. That player just flung himself in the storm. He can maybe get height here. Yeah, he can get height. If he ODMs the height, that's playable. Everyone's just sitting low ground for some reason. I guess because he has zone, actually. Never mind, I didn't look at storm. This is actually winnable. Someone did get knocked. This is like, yeah, this is actually very winnable. Okay, now... Oh, no, it's... He wants, like, one player to get knocked from the duo. See, now it's a 1v2 and it gets pretty hard. I don't know. Yeah. He killed the wrong player there, and it's hard to know, I guess, which player got knocked before because I think someone died to fall damage, and then that's why that fourth player was a solo. But if he waited to shoot that player... and that player did damage to these John Wicks, and maybe one of the John Wicks gets knocked, and then he takes that kill, then it's a 1v1 endgame. And you see he did knock one of the John Wick players. But it's just impossible to know that, you know? Like, I was unaware which team... Like, there was a superhero team and a John Wick team. One player got knocked to fall damage, but it was... I didn't know which, like, team it was to really focus endgame. But I hope you guys found this video interesting, helpful, informative. It definitely seems like ranked matches... aren't as strict as they used to be, at least like right now. That game wasn't as stacked as it typically was, but it was still a decent game nonetheless, and kind of somewhat of inside the mind of how to play as a solo. Like I said, there's no like just perfect you do this and you win. It's more of kind of maximizing your potential, like the way that player hid and like positioned themselves to hopefully maybe kind of capitalize on the situation if things went their way, I think was quite good. Even though it didn't go their way, I still think a lot of what they did was good. And if they, like, imagine their teammate gets knocked, they like grab the card and go res, and then that team comes back to brutal and eliminates him, then they probably get way less points that game, where like he kind of stuck around in the end game a bit. He ended up getting second place. I think he picked up an extra kill as well that he wouldn't have gotten otherwise. And like, it's not the biggest deal, but little things like that can matter if you're trying to like grind rank and ranked up. But I hope you guys found this helpful or informative. If you did, remember to give a like, subscribe if you like some more, and I will see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching.